What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the long-anticipated suspension or break from the build series episodes on the 1974 CB450. Today is the day we relaunch this build series and start making some good headway. Today's video is going to be all about finishing up fab work on the frame, thinking through as much as we possibly can so it's ready to be disassembled, take everything apart, and send over to powder coat. So if we can get that done in this episode, that would be a huge progression milestone. So without further ado, roll the intro and let's get into this freaking episode. Ow! Okay, first things first. What is a little bit of the checklist? I need to make battery tray mounts like the 750, something like this. Get 2 or 3 tabs in there just so the battery doesn't rock around, and then the cowl will have a cutout or a housing for the battery so it's not jumping around everywhere. So we got to make that, and then in addition to that part of the fabrication and cleaning process, we need to clean up all the welds on the frame and especially the electrical tray. In addition to that, we need to find where we're going to mount the regulator rectifier, and we also have to weld in 2 tabs for the exhaust, 2 rear tabs for the exhaust, that is, and then finally find a way to repurpose the stock kickstand. What I mean by find a way is this is a stock kickstand, but it's connected to the engine mount bolts with the foot peg. So I'm thinking once I take a look at it, I might have to just chop off the peg, clean it up nice, and then we'll still be able to repurpose the kickstand. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead, jump on the time lapse, and let's get right into this process of finishing up the frame. Ow! Alright, first step, I'm going to use this 90-degree bend steel to cut into about 1 inch each. I got to cut about 2, I need 2 inch here, and then 1 about 2 inches long there. 1 for the front, 2 for the corners and the rear. So we're just going to measure this out quick. Measure out 1 inch. Here. Good. All right, we're going to do a little review of what I just cut and why. So I have these 2 square tabs right here. Okay, these are going to be used for the rear exhaust mounts. What I'm going to do is leave one side flat, the other side round it nice, and those are going to be welded in a place on the bottom of the frame rails. I'll show you that in a moment. The second order of operations that I cut were 2 1-inch 90-degree bends for the rear of the battery and 1 2-inch 90-degree bend for the front of the battery. Now it's pretty straightforward. Let's hop off the tripod and let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is what I kind of mean by those 90-degree bends. It's very simple. It's a very simple process. You'll have 1, 2 in the back, holding it in place, and then one in the front that will just be tack welded down. Then the cowl will house over top with a hollowed indentation, so the cowl will hold it from jumping up and side to side. So these are more of a lateral hold, and then the cowl on top with the perfect cutout recessation will be the vertical hold. So, and now to show you the exhaust tabs of what I'm talking about, I'm just going to put 2 mounts right there, and on the other side, boom, round off these edges, and that should be good to go. I don't need the exhaust built to know where to put a rear exhaust mount. I can always have an extension rod like I did on the CB450. It's not a big deal as long as there's something to drill a hole in and mount a hole or mount a rod from the rear of the muffler to the frame just to get that rear back end rigidity. It's very important. You don't need to really think through that too much. Just put something in the rear of the frame and you should be good to go. You could get clever after the fact. But in the meantime, I am going to go ahead and get back on the tripod, get all this stuff rounded out, ready for welding, and hopefully, tack it all in, ready to go. So once that's done, I'm going to clean up all the welds in the electrical tray, and we should be pretty much 99% done with the frame. I'll go through one more check with my mind, run through everything with you guys to show you the process. Without further ado, let's hop back on the tripod. Let's get to work, baby. Oh. All right, guys, let me hop off the time lapse and give a little context to everything that just went down, because it's all finished up and came out pretty well, not gonna lie, and not perfect. My MIG welds are MIG welds, you know, they're nothing special. They work. I'm gonna clean them up a little bit and call it a day. I don't have a TIG welder. I will learn soon though. Let me clean this lens off quick. A little better. All right. Okay, first things first, the battery situation. This is what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, boom. And then remember, the cowl is going to go over on top with a cutout, hollowed out underneath. So that'll hold the vertical movement, and these should hold the lateral movement. Now this is how it fits in. Not too shabby. It's in there pretty good. Not bad. Very thrilled with that. Now, moving on to the exhaust tabs. You have one here and one on the other side. Those came out pretty solid, you know, not going anywhere. And like I said, there's certain things that you need to think forward on. However, something like that, you just have to have somewhere to mount a rod, a bar, some type of connection from the muffler to the frame for that rigidity. And here is the other tab. And now finally, I modified the stock kickstand, which had this bar right here, cut that off. That held the stock foot peg. Got rid of that, made it all nice and flush. Now we'll be able to repurpose this kickstand. That was something I've been pending for a while now. Good to know that it's gonna work. Now moving on, we're gonna make sure we can fit the regulator rectifier in a position and also the starter solenoid, and figure things out to make sure everything is in place and will have a place to live. So once we send off to powder coat, we don't have to go backwards. And so trying to think through it all in that realm, because it's very important to make sure that you have everything in the proper place and everything has its own home before you powder coat. So we're gonna go through that process right now. All right, guys, so let me bring a little context to what I am doing at the moment and what I am working through right now. So I have the battery here, okay, boom, great. Then I need to find a spot for this starter solenoid and main fuse to live, which ideally, right, it fits there. It looks good, it looks like it's gonna fit, no problems, great. Well, remember there's a plug that goes in the top, so therefore you're gonna need extra space, and when you put the cowl up to it, right, there's not enough material in the cowl at this point that I can take like an indentation out of the bottom side to be able to fit this. Therefore, that spot won't work. So what's the solution? There's always a solution. It's going to be cutting out this stock little plate right here and welding in a new one, and I'm going to mount this starter solenoid and main fuse on an angle backward like this, and it will be we'll have plenty of space for seat and cowl clearance after we do that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this bar out, roll the time lapse up again, and I'll pop back off when need be. Fucking shit! Just had a fire. I just had a fire. Now that we have the center cut out, where I'm going to figure out what the mounting position is going to be for the starter solenoid and main fuse. I will show you guys in a moment once I come up with something and hop back on. Woo! Holy cow. All right. I think that pretty much wraps up the fabrication of things. As you can see, you're looking at the electrical tray. The battery mounts are in place, all good. The starter solenoid and main fuse is in place, all good. The exhaust tabs are mounted, kickstand mounted. Oh, now I think it's time to figure out how to disassemble now. To recap the work I did today, battery goes there. Starter solenoid goes here. Right there. Motor controller will go here. Perfect amount of clearance, just enough. We should be good to go. I cut out some gullies so we can run wires back and forward. In the future, might have to drill some holes in the front for the regular rectifier wires, among a few others. And yeah, starting to shape out pretty good. This is going to be the layout. The regulator rectifier is going to be housed on the center frame rail underneath the monoshock. And yeah, super pumped. Great day for progress, and we made good progress. So time to look into the engine, top end, exhaust. Yeah, making great headway on the build today. Huge progression. Very fulfilling to get through all the fabrication. It's not the best, most enjoyable work. However, we're one step closer to getting over that apex of you know, the home stretch, if you will. So with that, we might end this video right now, and I will catch you guys in the next one. If you couldn't tell, I'm a little wiped out. Very busy day today, but very productive. So all in all, great stuff. Very thrilled with the outcome, and yeah, I'm not sure what the next episode is going to be, but stay tuned for more progression on this monoshock conversion, CB450, among a ton of other customization. But yeah, thanks for watching. As always, MZR family, one team, one family, and thanks for being dope. Catch you in the next episode.